Serie A, Italy's top football league, set out to make history by staging a real competitive league match between AC Milan and Como, not in Milan, but in Perth, Australia. This bold move was more than just a publicity stunt. It was a statement of intent, a sign that Serie A was ready to break boundaries and reach new fans across the globe. This wasn't a friendly, it was a league fixture that would count for points, marking the first time a major European domestic match would be played for points outside its home continent. The stakes were real, and the eyes of the footballing world were watching. The announcement electrified Australian fans who'd only ever watched their heroes on TV. Suddenly, the stars of Serie A were coming to their doorstep, promising an unforgettable spectacle and a chance to witness top-tier European football live. The match, scheduled for February 8, 2025, was meant to bridge European football's heartlands with passionate new audiences in Oceania. Perth's Optus Stadium was set to transform into a global stage, uniting cultures and fans in a celebration of the beautiful game. More than just a game, it symbolised football's global reach and Serie A's willingness to innovate. The league hoped to inspire a new generation of supporters and show that football truly knows no borders. But the plan was a logistical behemoth, coordinating governing bodies, broadcast rights, and competition integrity. Every detail, from travel schedules to time zones, had to be meticulously managed to ensure fairness and success. Serie A believed this Australian adventure could open new doors and showcase Italian football to the world. It was a chance to build lasting connections and leave a legacy far beyond a single match. Yet, as the date approached, excitement gave way to uncertainty. Questions about logistics, player welfare and regulatory approval began to overshadow the initial optimism. Disagreements and complications surfaced, turning the journey into a dramatic saga of high stakes and clashing interests. Behind the scenes, negotiations grew tense as stakeholders struggled to find common ground. Ultimately, the cancellation on December 22, 2025, brought a sudden, disappointing end to what could have been a groundbreaking moment for the sport. The dream was dashed, leaving fans and organisers alike to wonder what might have been. The dream of Serie A in Australia was over before a single ball was kicked, but the ambition and vision behind the plan will be remembered as a bold chapter in football's ongoing global story. The push for a Serie A match in Australia was driven by Serie A's president, Ezio Simonelli, a leader known for his bold ideas and willingness to challenge tradition in pursuit of growth. He was joined by a coalition of ambitious partners, visionaries from both the football and business worlds, who saw the potential for something truly groundbreaking. For Serie A, this was more than just a game. It was a strategic move to expand globally and compete with the English Premier League's massive international following, which had long set the standard for global football reach. Western Australia's government saw the match as a golden opportunity, a chance to boost tourism, elevate the state's prestige, and put Perth on the global sporting map as a destination for world-class events. For AC Milan, the event was a bridge to their passionate Asia-Pacific fan base, offering a rare chance to connect directly with supporters and grow their brand in a rapidly expanding market. Meanwhile, Como saw a rare chance for global exposure, hoping to showcase their club's story and ambitions to a worldwide audience. Both clubs viewed the event as vital, not just for growth, but for their financial survival and long-term relevance in an increasingly competitive football landscape. Together, these groups worked tirelessly for months, overcoming logistical hurdles, navigating complex negotiations, securing approvals, and laying the groundwork for what they hoped would be a truly historic event. Their alliance was bold and innovative, representing a new model for European football's global engagement and partnership with international markets. The plan was more than a match. It was a vision for a connected, globalized football world where borders faded and fans everywhere could share in the excitement. But even the strongest alliances, built on ambition and hope, can be tested by forces beyond their control, reminding everyone that in football, as in life, nothing is ever guaranteed. For Serie A, the Perth match was more than just a fixture. It was a lifeline, a rare opportunity to showcase Italian football on a truly global stage and remind the world of its rich history and passionate fan base. In a world dominated by the English Premier League's financial might and relentless marketing, Serie A has struggled to keep pace, both in terms of revenue and international attention. Italian football, once the world's best and home to legendary players, had fallen behind in global reach and revenue, with empty stadiums at home and dwindling influence abroad. To survive and thrive, Serie A desperately needed to attract new fans and tap into fresh markets, especially in the rapidly growing Asia-Pacific region, where football passion is booming and the next generation of supporters is up for grabs. The Perth match was a bold statement of ambition, aiming to win over fans who might otherwise follow English or Spanish clubs, and to plant the Serie A flag in new territories. Success in Perth could have sparked lucrative new broadcast deals and sponsorships, giving all Serie A teams a better chance to compete financially and invest in their futures. Clubs like Como argued that international games were essential, not just for their own growth, but to close the financial gap with richer leagues and secure the league's long-term future. The cancellation wasn't just a lost game, it was a blow to Serie A's hopes of reclaiming its place on the world stage and a setback for its dreams of global expansion. For now, the league's evolution into a global entertainment product has been put on hold, leaving its future ambitions uncertain. The Asian Football Confederation, AFC, became the biggest obstacle to Serie A's Australian dream. International rules required AFC approval for any official match in its territory, and the AFC insisted on appointing the referees. For Serie A, this threatened the integrity of a match with real league points at stake. Negotiations grew tense, involving UEFA and even FIFA, as the AFC asserted its authority. The dispute over officiating symbolised a deeper power struggle between leagues and confederations. Football's complex web of governing bodies made exporting a domestic league game far harder than Serie A anticipated. The inability to compromise on these fundamental issues became a critical factor in the project's collapse. As talks with the AFC dragged on, new financial and legal demands emerged at the last minute. Serie A suddenly faced unexpected costs and potential penalties, turning a profitable venture into a risky gamble. Budgets had been set months in advance, and these new conditions made the project financially unstable. The Western Australian government, heavily invested in the event, was also put in a bind. The organisers were forced to choose between unacceptable risks and abandoning the match. The decision to cancel was a direct response to these impossible demands. Bureaucratic red tape and last-minute power plays crushed the dream. The joint cancellation was a clear message: integrity and financial security come first. The move to Australia wasn't just about global expansion, it started with a practical problem. Milan's San Siro Stadium was unavailable due to preparations for the 2026 Winter Olympics opening ceremony. With no suitable alternative in Italy, Serie A saw a unique chance to try something bold. The Olympic conflict gave the league a legitimate reason to experiment abroad, with approval from the Italian FA and reluctant clearance from UEFA. This wasn't just a commercial stunt, it was an innovative solution to a real scheduling crisis. But relocating the match thousands of miles away was still a radical step. The San Siro's unavailability set off a chain of events that led to complex negotiations and ultimately cancellation. What began as a local fix became an international incident. Serie A's plan followed the example of the NFL and NBA, which have built global brands by staging regular season games abroad. These American leagues showed that taking meaningful games to new markets can create lasting fan connections and major media buzz. Serie A hoped to replicate this success, using the Perth match as its own flagship event. But there was a key difference. The NFL and NBA are single, centrally controlled leagues. European football is governed by a tangled web of national and continental bodies, making such moves far more complicated. Serie A learned the hard way that exporting a league game isn't as simple as following the American playbook. While league officials saw opportunity, many Italian fans saw betrayal. For them, football is rooted in local communities and traditions, not global TV deals. Fan groups condemned the move, arguing it prioritized profit over the people who give the sport its soul. They feared a slippery slope. If one match moved abroad, more could follow, eroding the league's identity. The backlash was about more than inconvenience. It was about principle. Supporters worried that domestic football would become a soulless product for distant audiences. The cancellation was, in part, a victory for these fans, reinforcing the idea that football belongs to its communities. Their voices proved impossible to ignore. The episode highlighted the deep divide between business ambitions and fan loyalty. Serie A's failed Australian adventure echoed La Liga's recent attempt to play in Miami. Another plan sunk by regulations and fan opposition. These high-profile cancellations show just how tough it is to export European league games. Complex rules, passionate fans, and deep local ties create formidable barriers. For Australian fans, the cancellation was a bitter disappointment and a missed chance to see football history. The future of intercontinental league matches now looks uncertain. Leagues may need to focus on pre-season tours and digital engagement instead of moving competitive fixtures. The lesson is clear: global ambition must be balanced with respect for tradition, regulations, and above all, the fans.